Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Hello,
this week's
Kevin.
episode. All Nerds Here presents Varsity Hues, issue 14. Welcome back. It's been a week, longer for some of us than others, for various reasons. We're only going to do this once, and this is the only time ever. So we want to make a special shout out to a special reader at home. It's JR's birthday. Everybody go harass JR. If you live somewhere in the vicinity of a JR, go punch him in the arm.
Yeah,
20 some plus arms.
Punch him in the J arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
He would have loved that joke.
There it is. If JR were here, we'd tell him to introduce himself, but he's not. So, Rue.
Oh no.
Introduce JR.
I should.
Yep.
Hello, I'm JR.
Good bit. Where's my puppet? I need someone to yell, good joke.
I thought you were gonna say you're gonna have the puppet be JR.
Yeah.
I could, but that's too chaotic for this.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rue. My pronouns are she, her. I play Tanvi, whose pronouns are she, he. They are the redeemed former villain turned good-ish.
Alex, it's your turn to introduce JR.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex. My pronouns are he, him, and I will be playing Filodhas, whose pronouns are she, her, using the Gladiator playbook.
Simon, will you commit to the bit?
I'm not JR, but you should follow at Germangonder on Twitter. Our favorite space prince. JR, we love you. Happy birthday. And we miss you dearly. Maybe you'll show up in chat. I don't know.
Maybe we'll show up.
Having some chili in your honor. My name is Simon. My pronouns are he, she, they. I am playing Manny Moreno, whose pronouns are he, him, who is the transformed. It's just a little boy, just a little bat boy. I'm getting over some food poisoning this week, so if I'm a little off, if I seem a little off, that's because I am.
And I'm contractually obligated to allow Viditya to introduce himself.
Hey, everybody, I'm JR. You can call me JR. I go by he, him pronouns. And I will be playing Viditya Voleti, who also goes by he, him pronouns, who is playing Rodasi, aka Orbital, the Legacy playbook, who uses she, her pronouns.
And I'm Kevin. I am not, my pronouns are currently he, him. I'm not ductile as fucktile, but if you would like your message on stream, you can donate to kofi.com/shartposts currently, and that will be communicated to me, and we will feature that in our in an issue as soon as we can.
It's been Sharp Post this whole time.
Yeah, it works.
It has been Sharp Post.
You can't fucking do this to me. I take a drink of water.
I have never actually read the URL.
Yeah. I will change it if you pay.
We are allegedly professionals here, in some capacity. Somebody gave us money once, so technically true. Welcome to issue 14 of Varsity Hues, our masks play, actual play. Issue 14 titled Black and Blue. Because there's a theme of the colors, because hues are colors, and we're all people of stream.
Wait, were there colors the whole time? I'm just now catching on to this.
What was the first? What was issue
red.
11?
Issue 11 was like issue 1, but 10 times better.
Yeah.
That was the name of it, you monster. You actual...
Those are colors.
It was printed in black ink.
Shut the
Okay,
fuck up.
I'm feeling better now about not
Yeah,
recognizing
it's
this
not
pattern.
right.
It's a bit that the writers like figured out halfway through the run, and they're like, "Oh no, wait,
Oh, this is
we're
gonna
doing
be
this,
so-
but we need to
Yeah.
pretend
Figured
like
out
this was
issue
planned."
They look
Dang
back
it.
at the titles and they're like, wait a minute, we've been doing this the whole time.
All right.
11 episodes, and we decided like we'd start this bit.
First,
not gonna
the first
stop.
11 was all about puns on Varsity. the next.
I think it's 100 bullets that has trade paperbacks. That each volume has like a number joke about the number of volume it is, and there's one that they goof like halfway through because they just can't figure out like a pun for it. I have to look it up.
That's really good.
Well, with this issue, we the cover of our issue this week, for those of you that picked up your floppy backs from the comic book store, or maybe it's waiting for you in your pull list, and the guy's angry that you haven't picked up your pull list in 6 months, but you're not going to because now it's built up too much and you're afraid, and like he keeps calling you, but you just keep sending it to voicemail, and you just don't listen to those voicemails. You read the transcripts, but you don't. It's a whole thing. But this week's issue's cover is Rodasi Vioma sort of sitting in costume as Orbital in an interrogation room, handcuffed to a table, looking into her own reflection in the mirror. And the reflection is Rodasi in plainclothes, sort of looking sad and lonely and destitute in custody of the police. As last issue, for those who were there, saw Rodasi allow themselves to be taken into custody after causing a great scene with her companions, with the other members of the community service league, the League of Community Services.
That's been floated. It was on the ballot.
Yeah. We cut to similar to the end of last issue, where we had those two-page spread of really uniform panels of Rodasi being processed. We cut to Rodasi being processed again, like sort of being shown, like sort of continuing on from there and being shown to an interrogation room and being questioned. No actual word bubbles, just like sort of obvious like exchange there happening. And then Rodasi sort of being like Rodasi seeing the door open up, being uncuffed, standing up, being led through the police station, like getting a lot of dirty looks from police officers and detectives, and sort of being led to the lobby of the station, where Rodasi's older sister, the current Orbital, is standing in plainclothes, sort of looking very like a lot of heavy shadows on her face, like head hung pretty low. Rodasi is like sort of led up to a counter, given her things, still dressed in uniform.
Oh, sorry. This is if we want to backpedal for a hot second. Should I roll my time passes thing, since it has to do with the mood of my legacy people?
Yeah.
Because I think we can keep
Exciting.
all of this, but it's like interesting to see like maybe it changes how she actually views it.
Yeah.
For people curious, the legacy has a special move that comes with the playbook, which is my legacy. So I have several family members, or not family members. I have like members of my legacy and stuff like that. And whenever time passes, and you know, I roll to see how my exploits and how the story, how they react to what's been going on. So I take a -1 to the roll for each no answer to 3 questions. Have you upholding the traditions of your legacy? I don't think so.
No. No.
Have you maintained the image of your legacy? No, not at all. Have you made the other members of your legacy proud? Absolutely not.
No.
So that's a -3.
Wonderful. And what are you rolling?
I'm rolling Savior,
Savior.
which last issue got bumped down, I think.
Yeah.
So it's still
Kind of what
rolling
happens
with a
when you
1.
get arrested by the cops.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mess. That is a miss. I'm going to.
Who'd have thunk it?
I still mark potential on this, right?
You get potential.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't think you should, but you do.
But I do. I learned from my mistakes. Okay, on a miss, something you did stirred up the hornet's nest. Expect several members of your legacy to meddle with your life. All right, this sounds very appropriate.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so my sister is in front of us.
Uh-huh.
Is in front of me.
Seni, we get like this editor's note saying Seni Bioma, current orbital, the real orbital, the actual inheritor to the title, unlike that rat bastard imposter Rodasi Bioma.
The editor wrote that?
Yeah.
Wow. Why is
Biased
the editor
editor.
so angry?
I do like an editor with a personality. I don't think Rodasi says anything. She would not initiate the conversation. I think you're right that her like head is down. I think you see. I like this shot to shot kind of paneling of like you see just like face straight up her face, and then it cuts to Seni's or however that, but it's just Rodasi's hair is like all kind of messed up. She's just looking down. She's like looking off panel.
And then we get another panel of Rodasi getting a gym bag thrown in her chest.
Yeah.
And then like a speech bubble from off frame, like, go change. You're not walking out there like that.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Ooh. I think it just like it probably cuts, or like it's just like another panel of her now kind of like in her civilian clothes, almost like same face.
They're not nice civilian clothes. These are like your old clothes. Like these are specifically picked out to embarrass you. These are clothes that like are no longer in your style. These are probably clothes that your mom bought from you, and they're like maybe a size small.
Okay.
Like a big baggy hoodie, and it cuts to you and Seni sitting in a car, in the back of a car, and like sort of lights flashing outside, sort of implying that there is press and paparazzi here, having taken your photos as you walked out when you're in your car driving.
Wow. Yikes.
We probably get a couple panels of just this copy paste panel of you sitting next to each other, but there's like a little timer in the corner. 10 minutes pass, 30 minutes pass, 40 minutes pass.
She's just saying nothing.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I again I think Rodasi is just completely, she doesn't know how she could even possibly, reach this. I like, so when let's say like we get to our home.
Yeah, what's your house look like?
Kevin, I'm actually gonna ask you this because LA houses a little better.
Do you live in an apartment or a house?
Probably a house.
A house,
which I know also it's like, I mean we could just get like real pretty stereotypical with it, where like I live in like a nice like modern house that's like a little bit on a hill.
Beverly Hills.
Exactly. Like you live in the hills. You live in like this like coastal modern type house. It's got a big driveway. It's got a gate. Anybody who's seen like probably Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Will gets kicked over to his uncle's house and like goes through the fence, it probably looks a little bit like that.
Yeah, it's on like tours of superheroes who are in Sunset City. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're because Orbital is such a public superhero, it's even like out in the gate, like, hey, this is like Orbital's, like the Vioma family.
It's got like the Orbital like superhero symbol on the gate, like on the gate on each half.
Yeah.
This town car pulls up in the driveway, pulls up to the house.
Rodasi does not get out of the car, or she like if Seni tries to like get out, she's just sitting there in the car.
Sure. Like, what's your objective here?
She just refuses to get into the house. She like will not.
So you're not trying to block Seni from getting out?
No.
Okay. Yeah, Seni's gonna get out. Seni's gonna grab the gym bag.
Oh.
With your uniform in it.
Oh. Okay.
Just like very presumptive.
Yeah.
If you don't get out of the car, we get a shot of Seni walking in the house and you sitting in the car.
I'm okay with that. I like the idea that Rodasi like just cannot like is not even like willing to engage with this. Like I think she's that scared,
Uh-huh.
she's that hopeless.
Uh-huh.
I still have angry condition, so I think it's like this is like how it's manifesting, and I think this manifests. I feel like a lot of any like brown like Indian kids I could
Yeah.
speak to you, where it's like this silence, like just inaction is kind of the only thing you can do to instead of walking into whatever you're gonna have to deal with. It's you choose inaction, and I think that's
You put it off as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
In an earlier draft of the comic, this was not actually put in the comic, it is like a perspective panel from the driver just sitting there for a long time thinking about how he's got to go home to his kids, but that wasn't actually put in because that brings attention to the scene.
Yeah.
Tanvi, you have a time passes rule, right?
Oop,
You're muted.
It's because there were cars passing by very loudly. Yeah, I rolled a 9, so my time passes is me rolling against my highest obligation, which at the moment is to Leela. And on a 7 to 9, they call for a favor.
Yeah. How does obligation increase and decrease for those at home that might not know? And also those of us here on stage.
It's when you need to owe people.
And you said you rolled a miss?
No, I got a 9.
A 9. What happens on a 9?
They call for a favor.
They call for a favor. Okay. So it's gonna happen in a second. I think we cut to y'all back at school, like sort of early in the morning. To my understanding, Manny, Flois, and Tanvi usually hang out together because y'all are a clique, and Rodasi's in denial that she's your friend. Publicly. So you three are at school together. Haven't seen Rodasi, haven't heard from Rodasi, maybe saw on the news segment that Rodasi was arrested.
Oh Lord. Oh yeah, actually I am can I ask how many of y'all, because we kind of split ways. Maybe Manny saw that I was arrested. I don't know. I'm kind of curious, or is it just nobody knows like kind of what happened to all of us until y'all reconvene?
I feel like we probably figured it out, you know, the next day.
Yeah, when he didn't show up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Of course, patrol always happens on a Friday, so it was the whole weekend for that to.
Yeah, we've just been stewing.
Yeah. All the other students are looking at y'all like they know. Like everybody knows that y'all patrol with Orbital, and Orbital got arrested. So like everybody's like looking like real tense at y'all.
Has anything been in the news about like this our raid on the house, as it were?
The framing of the incident was that there was an assault on a homeowner in Irvine, California, and the police were quickly dispatched to arrest powered individuals who had arrested them unjustly, who had trespassed, assaulted, destruction of property, etc., etc. So very framing in the racist motherfuckers' favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Maybe we get like a panel of where each of us are in school.
Yeah.
Like before we meet up.
Tanvi and Manny, do you get a ride together to school? Y'all live together.
Yeah. That's a good question. I imagine the place that we haven't really seen this in the comic. So the two of us share like a foster home, which doubles as like a clinic. But I don't know how far it is from the school.
Oh, if it's like walking distance, or we need a ride.
Yeah, or like do we take a bus?
Oh yeah.
how prevalent are like school buses in this version of SoCal in Sunset City?
Not prevalent at all. If you took a bus, it'd probably be a city bus.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea that we have to take like public transit,
Yeah.
that we have to take like the 88 or whatever. So yeah, I think maybe the panel is the two of us on the bus,
Mhm.
but not sitting together.
Oh,
Like we got on the bus together, but Manny's like as far in the back as he can,
Mhm.
like face pressed, like kind of like deli meat a little bit against the glass,
Mhm.
Hood up, just kind of eyes like listlessly, like glazed over,
Mhm.
just like kind of like looking out at nothing. The panel I think is him like drawn like very very desaturated, kind of like hazy. Oh no, what it is it's him looking like kind of like eyes glazed, and then in the mirror there's like the more monstrous version of the bat form that he took on, um, and is like clearly like trying to ignore it.
And I think the bus is uncharacteristically like empty today. Not like devoid of people, but like it's just to show that like there's y'all sitting apart from each other is really intentional. It's not just these are the only two open seats on
Yeah,
the
there's
bus.
like 3 other random filler characters.
Flois, you're at school. I assume you hop to school.
Yeah, I suppose I
Yeah.
do. And I think we see yeah, we'll do the classic superhero thing. Flois is in the gym and is like trying to work out her frustration on like a
Uh-huh.
big heavy sandbag, right? And just like we just see her like looking really like grim and conflicted, and just like these big heavy hits slamming into it, and then the chains holding it snap and it like flips over and splats on the ground and like sand goes spilling out everywhere, and she's just like and just like bends down and starts trying to like shove the sand back into it.
In the background, like sort of not super well rendered, Rick Brick is like sort of goes to like wave and be like all chipper and like, but then when somebody else in the gym is like, no, don't do that. Like,
No. It's not
and
even
then Rick's like
it's not even her
confused
gym
and
class right now.
sad.
She's supposed to be in math.
Rossi, you are driven to school.
Yes.
Am I freezing? I think I
Well,
froze.
no, I think I drive to school.
No, you were driven to school.
Oh, I was driven. Sorry,
Yes,
I was
you-
like normally I feel like
Yeah, normally you may drive yourself,
yeah,
but you have been
yeah.
driven today.
Yes. Okay.
Is the panel drawn like the whoever's driving is clearly like the officer, and you're like cuffed, quote unquote, in the back?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it mirrors that same shot
Yeah,
from the
that's
Yeah, we
last
get that
issue.
like just like a little sliver of the driver's face and like through the limousine, like the town car type window, and then you're really far in the back.
Mhm.
You pull up. There's a couple guys with cameras at the school gate. Sort of.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Rodasi, I think there is like a pause, and I think you get like again it's like, oh, she's not gonna get out of this car, but then like she steps out. I think, she's also, I don't think, doesn't look as put together as normal, right? Like not like I think like for fashion sense, it's not like schluds. She's not in here like in sweats,
Yeah.
right? But it's like, she's really not put any of the effort that she normally does, and it's just like head down walks to school, doesn't really acknowledge any of the cameras or anything like that.
I think we get a perspective of you walking into school like from behind of you, in the background, in the midground, in the background of the front panel is the school, and in the foreground we get a big heavy like sort of boot like modeled after a Doc Martin type boot.
Mhm.
Manny, you have science class. You're sitting. Mr. Koa is teaching the lesson. As you walked in earlier, we might have seen Mr. Koa give you a very knowing look, like sort of like we need to talk kind of look,
Right.
like after school. And you're sitting there, and like the lesson is going on the board, and then somebody and like the door opens. Like we get a very ominous, like super close up of a hand opening the door only, and then we cut to you looking, reacting, and then Mr. Koa like reacting, and then a hand handing Mr. Koa a note, and then Mr. Koa being like, "Oh, looks like we have a new student, Leela." And if Leela, you want to introduce yourself, and we see Leela, who Manny is familiar with, who the readers at home are familiar with, and Leela is dressed in like a leather like cut off vest that's obviously used to be a jacket with the sleeves ripped off, sort of a legally distinct Ramones tee, like short shorts, and those Doc Martin boots, sort of looking around the classroom, like, I'm Layla. I like sort of like trailing off. Manny, what's your internal dialogue going on as you see Leela walk in this classroom?
He looks up, eyes go wide, like, what? What's she doing here? She doesn't. No. This is a mistake. No, don't come over here. Don't come over here. He's got his little claw hand, like, don't sit next to me. Don't sit next to me.
Mhm.
Hi.
Yeah.
What do you?
Hey.
You go to school? And then immediately, like, this little thought bubble that goes, "What was that?"
like that thought bubble probably overlaps her answer. Like you just don't even register what she replies.
Right.
Looks confused. Sort of like, and then we get like this like sort of unnarrated, like no speech bubbles anymore of her like borrowing your notes and like going through class, and like you probably awkwardly fidgeting and her just like sitting there pretty comfortably. And then bell rings, and then you start to walk out. Sort of the unspoken understanding between you and Mr. Koa being that you'll talk after school,
Right.
and then now, and it's lunch, and Leela, she like kind of pals around with you, like sort of walks shoulder to shoulder with you, bumps your shoulder a little bit. So, how's the food?
Free. I mean, if you sign up for the meal plan, but so you're I thought you were elsewhere. You, no offense, but like, what are you doing at, what's the name of this school? Chavez Memorial?
Yeah.
Chavez Technical?
Chavez Fundamental.
Fundamental.
What are you doing at a dump like Chavez Fundamental? Shouldn't you be like at the academy across the way?
No, they got uniforms. They have like a whole dress code thing. It's like, that wasn't really for me.
Huh. It's just that, like, I don't know, I kind of got the vibe that you could afford to not be here. That came out weird. He's like instant is like,
Yeah.
his little bat fur flushes like, stupid. What are you saying? Did you just call her poor?
Yeah, like
You're
there's
poor
like a
too,
cockeye, like, yeah.
jackass.
And like y'all, like this is probably going on as y'all are walking through the lunch line, picking up like a Red Baron pizza. Some shit.
He's trying to spin it off now. I think like, forget it. Let me give you the 2-cent tour. And he's like kind of grandiosely gesturing, like, way overcompensating, like, and over here, madam will see our illustrious culinary department.
Oh,
And he's
man.
gesturing to like some exhausted 50-year-old lunch worker who's just like slowly dribbling like a spoonful of soup into a bowl.
Oh my god.
and y'all go to sit down at your regular table. Flo's is already there. Rodasi, are you I think you're being shunned a little by your usual cohorts. Do you
Oh,
default to the table with the group, or do you go off and be a sad loner by yourself?
I don't think I could. I really feel like Rodasi also feels weird confronting her friends. So I might just be a sad loner off on my own if that's okay with everyone.
That's too sad.
So what probably is like the 2-penny tour is like a big frame from like a high up view of the whole quad, and it's like just these little bubbles of Manny introducing, and then like we get a little panel over here, a little like arrow over here, like Rodasi's over here, like behind the bleachers. Flo's is here waiting, and like and Lilo will sit down like hi, like introducing herself to Flo's. I don't think Tanvi's arrived yet for dramatic effect.
Yeah. Flois has her lunch in front of her, which is like a couple of like foot-long Subway meatball subs, and there's like a takeout container that's full of peanut butter next to them that she hasn't opened yet. So she kind of gives a like, and says, "Oh, I remember you from the restaurant, right? Hi."
Yeah, vanilla shake and sweet potato fries, right?
Probably. I just, sort of get whatever looks good.
This is Leela. She goes here now.
I just transferred.
Nice, cool. And I think we get a panel from Flois's point of view. We get a close-in shot of her like little sense tendrils, and then we get the sort of impressionist painting view of the world that she has. Because last time that I looked at this girl out of the corner of my eye, not noticeable to me was like some sort of weird aura around her. So I think now that we're like face to face, it might make sense to see if that happens again.
Yeah. Is this a custom for your playbook, or are you trying to unleash your powers and like expand your senses again?
I'd say this is probably an expanding my senses type thing, because I haven't actually done this one yet for her, so we'll see how it goes.
And Tanvi's with us, right?
Not yet. Not for dramatic effect.
That's just the two of us. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Got a 9.
Tanvi's going and beating up some other school bully. Not a 9.
My usual 12 p.m.
So you do it, and either market condition or the GM tells you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
Unstable or temporary sounds fun in this case, so let's go for that.
Okay. Unstable. I think what it is. So like you sort of sense these vibes going out, and like we get like the sense that it's like sort of almost the way a bat like reflects sound waves. It's kind of that, but like psychic almost, or like some other like sort of interdimension like sort of sense. And like what you do see is like you get a look at this. It's some living creature that's like embedded at the base of like her skull.
Whoa.
Some sort of like insectoid creature, like, and like you're an alien. This is obviously some kind of alien like sort of symbiote parasite type deal. It doesn't seem to be violently reacting to her. It's not like it's like sort of holding her like spinal cord hostage or anything. She doesn't seem to be freaking out. Her brain seems to be functioning normally as far as you can tell. Human brains are functioning. What we do get is like a wide shot of like we suddenly get a cut to a panel of the black hole, and like those same like sort of like ripples out of you like looking at her. Ooh. Like those ripple out to the black hole.
Cool. That's awesome. So I think I would probably just bring it up. Because sometimes people got symbiotes. That's a regular thing.
For you, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you got a symbiote. That's cool.
Yeah.
Buzz
So I
got one.
Is that from the moon or from an asteroid?
Yeah. So I think I say, who's your little friend? And I like tap the back of my neck.
Oh, we well, sorry, I'm just so used to not having to explain it. It's we no, you probably can pronounce its name, and like she makes a noise.
It's just a string of glyphs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like,
awesome.
no,
They
I
went on
usually I
Blambot and
can't.
grabbed whatever alien font.
Yeah, it's like, you know how it is. Like I can't. I usually have to explain. Like they can't. Like humans, they don't have the things to like pronounce it. But I don't know. Maybe you might. Like, so that's what it is.
Maybe it's a little, and I think we get like Flois tries to do the same thing, but like it's
Right.
in like a different font. Like it has more like curly cues and like it's more like elaborate and baroque looking. So like it's like she's saying thee and thou version of it.
Yeah.
So we get like we get a back and forth, and like these text bubbles, like they start encroaching on another panel of Tanvi walking up with her lunch, sort of walking up, seeing Manny's back, seeing some other person's back at your table, which is weird, and then seeing like Flo is like facing towards you, and obviously they're talking to each other. So you walk up and you like approach the table. It's not until like you probably sit down that you notice, oh, there's Leela from your old villain life.
Yay.
The sort of editor's note, Tanvi was replaced as a supervillain sidekick by Leela.
Great.
Yeah, Manny looks up like Manny choked like on his like cornbread or whatever. When Floes is like, "Oh, who's your friend?" Like tapping at the neck, like, "Whoa, she's new. We don't have to go there." But then it's just sort of been like watching mouth agape, like a little bit of food hanging out of his mouth as the two of you are trading your runes, and then when Tanvi shows up, is like, "Oh, hey Tanvi, this is Leela, new student. We're kind of showing her around."
Leela and
Yeah, Tanvi hasn't like sat down quite yet. Like she's just placed her, or she's like about to put down her tray, and then kind of there's just like a weird jerk of action as she's like, ugh.
I think like where no sorry, continue.
Oh yeah, and she's like at the end of the bench, so if everyone's like sitting facing each other, she's like perpendicular to them.
Mhm.
Yeah, and is just like looks like she's like malfunctioning a little bit, like she like just a bunch of different emotions like go across her face, like just like really confused and then angry and then immediate like I'm calm and I have no emotion about this at all. And then it just like kind of cycles a little bit as she tries to figure out like how she wants to deal with this, and like tries to figure like because she's like, okay, they're acting fine, so maybe I shouldn't go into just punching this person immediately.
And I think like as we get like this thought process, the text like starts to have a like sort of border highlight in a different color, and then like as we cut to Leela, sort of we see that's obvious to like the reader, but wouldn't be diegetically obvious, like this sort of aura around her in a matching color. And Tanvi would know, and the editor would make a note that Leela, supervillain persona, is empath. She is like an empath, but she can convey emotions. She can manipulate people's emotions. And that is what she's doing to you. She's trying to calm you down.
Ew.
And you probably have been susceptible to this before, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can see you go two ways. You can either be susceptible to it because she knows you well, or you know her well enough that you can reject it easier. I think both are each as interestingly dramatic.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure. I haven't decided yet whether or not it does affect her, but her reaction, as she like feels it happening a little bit. Like, I feel like maybe she can sense it a little more than maybe someone else would because she knows what that is. She drops her plate and is like, stop that. Like, just kind of.
Oh, that's good.
Leela is
Yes.
immediately going to like grab your hand.
Yes.
Oh, here, let me help you with that, and like sort of drag you out to sort of a water fountain, and like, so we cut to you both at a water fountain, and she's like wiping you down with napkins, and she's like, please just be cool. This doesn't have to be a thing.
Don't touch me. What doesn't have to be a thing. What are you doing at this school? What do you mean it doesn't have to be? This obviously is a thing. Or are you
What are you doing at
now-
the school?
What am I doing at the school? Being a student?
Same
what are you
thing.
doing at this school?
Damn, look at the both of us being students.
Fucking hate you. Don't make this into a joke. Like we have some kind of thing. Like we're bros here. I'm here because I'm not with Turnabout anymore. Are you trying to say that you aren't either?
What I do in my own time is my business.
Okay then. So in that case,
But let's
My
not blow
pre-
this up. Let's not start revealing each other's dirty secrets here.
a lot of people kind of know my shit already.
Everything?
That's why
They know everything.
they don't know everything. But I feel like out of the two of us, maybe I have a little less to hide. What are you doing here?
I'm just trying to be a student. I just need a diploma. That's it.
Right. Turnabout just wanted you to enroll in
This has nothing to
school.
do with her.
Are you... Wait, are you not with her anymore?
Like I said, that's my business. But are we going to be cool? Or does it have to be a thing? And like sort of, there's this red border to like her word, the thing.
Are you trying to pierce her mask?
Ooh. Yeah, I think so,
Yeah, you're trying
because...
to like get
I
information.
feel like we need a panel of like your eyes narrowing.
Yeah.
it's so hard to trigger pierce the mask.
that
such a
just
vague
makes sense,
trigger.
though, because Tanvi is like, what the fuck is going
Yeah,
on?
yeah, you're definitely trying to figure it out.
Right, we have these moments of like you flashing back to like the past, your relationships, like very briefly, maybe.
Mhm. This is my move. Get your own school.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait for a GED.
That's not my problem.
They say it's the same, but it's not. Everybody knows it's not.
I rolled a 9. Got a hit.
On 9, ask one.
I gotta find the thingy that shows me what the questions are.
What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? How could I gain influence over you? What are you really planning? What do you want me to do?
Ooh.
And to be, if it wasn't obvious, you being cool, like not saying nothing, is the favor that she is calling on you. For time past.
Okay, gotcha.
Whether you adhere to that or not.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
And like also the answer that you're getting doesn't have to be in character. It can
Yeah.
be like this is what you understand.
Yeah, you put together puzzle pieces on her.
Right.
Gotcha.
Sounds like you're asking, what are you really planning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what do you intend? Something like
Or what do you intend to do? I think those two sound like what you're...
Yeah.
Intend is immediate, and
Yeah.
really planning is long term.
I think really planning is what Tanvi is trying to get at. Because it doesn't seem like there's necessarily like an immediate thing that's happening, except that she's here now.
Yeah, it's like so you move. You're here at a school, while you're still like technically an active supervillain, you wouldn't just do that for S's and G's.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like,
Like,
why?
what's
like,
this
school-
about?
like, why this school? And, like,
Right.
why
You're
you-
choosing
you
the
know.
school that I'm at, and you've like got in with my friends. What?
Yeah, what's what's your angle?
Like you gather based on like your context with Leela. Like this is not like some supervillain plan necessarily. Like she's not here to like to she's not here to assassinate anybody or to like or to put your shit out there. But then she does have like a baseline motive of like sort of networking with a lot more powered people in general. And like this school is not necessarily that, but like it's a good opportunity because there are a lot of young, like impressionable, powered people at the school.
Right. And like less regulated than at a place like the academy where there's more people, but probably a lot more easier for her to get caught.
Mhm.
Okay.
Say about Chavez Fundamental.
Trying to think. Also, I'm just trying to remember how the obligations play out. Is it just that I accept the obligation or
So they ask you for a favor.
okay?
It's up to you to decide what to do about it, but they are calling on you for a favor.
Mhm.
And so if you reject that, that's probably going to cause some problems.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you
some
go along with it,
GM
when
might
you
have.
help one of the villains with their problems, you erase 2 obligation points.
Okay, got it.
You cash in those chips.
But you have to like be helping them with their thing.
So like what she's like more sort of explicitly asking you to do is to actively help her blend in here and get along and keep her secret of her supervillain identity. Rather than just the easy don't mention anything in this immediate moment.
Mm-hmm.
You owe me.
Yeah, I think Tanvi kind of gets in her face. How like is Leela younger though? She is like tall, like bigger than Tanvi.
I think this is a good dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of gets he gets in her face a little bit, and is like, I'm not gonna give away who you are right now, but if you start making trouble for me, I'm going after you. So don't cause trouble. I'm keeping an eye on you. I'm making sure that my stuff is good. If you stay out of my way, I'll stay out of your way. But the second you become an obstacle, this truce is gone.
Seems to me like I'm not the one to be concerned about around here. Sort of, and like giving a knowing look across the quad to Rodasi by herself.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I
that
think
look was, Vin.
Manny's
Everybody knows
going
your
over
orbital.
How dare this villain know?
Me. No,
I think Manny's making his way over to Rodasi
Yeah.
during this.
Yeah, I think the final thing that Tanvi has with her is like, you don't worry about what's going on with our club,
Mhm.
and don't play your emotions game with me. You want me out of your way? Don't use your powers on me. And then she walks away.
And like a little bit more context, I think is worth mentioning since you have a history. Leela has always been very like pro mutant, pro powered person, like being like pro mutant liberation, so to speak. Like we shouldn't have to hide our powers. We shouldn't have to like conform to human society. We shouldn't be afraid ourselves. Like all that stuff that she was saying to Manny is like pretty straight up to her, and like she's always been kind of very demagogish about that like perspective, and like kind of leaning into that sort of. That's why she is like looking to network with other power people, like sort of get them on her train.
Mhm.
So there was,
Rodasi,
like-
you get like we probably see a panel of Rodasi sitting by herself under the bleachers in like the shadow of Manny, in a very like Batman reference like esque like casting a shadow on Rodasi.
What's your freak and danger at?
My freak and danger are both at 2.
You
Okay.
can't just
alright.
ask people that. That's
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I was
so
kind of
invasive.
curious. I was kind of curious because I like
Asking
this.
people about their symbiotes and freaking, God.
I didn't.
Just as a group,
As a group, yeah. I
y'all
guess
need
you're
some.
No
We have
Uh,
no
decency.
tact, no filter.
I asked Simon because I think I'm liking the like imagery of both of us, like, you know, dealing with kind of our super selves or showing themselves. So like the shadow probably looks like your big form, and then it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I think there's the like kind of monstrous shadow that's like hanging, like like slowly looming through the bleachers, and then it's replaced by Manny like swinging under the
Yeah.
bleachers, hanging upside down like a bat,
oh,
and it's
Yeah.
just like tiny kid version, but he still has the monstrous shadow
yeah,
looming from under him.
that's good. That's good. I just like that visual imagery, so I want to.
That's
pull it
good,
back
that's
in.
good.
I want to pull it back in. I'm sorry, I'm playing such a passive Rodasi, but I don't think she talks first either.
That's
I don't
great,
think
that's
she
fine.
makes eye contact with you.
Yeah.
Ooh, it might be. I think it might be more interesting that she like you swing down, and her head like turns. Like it's not like you accidentally make eye contact, but she almost like purposefully like moves her head away to
Yeah.
really like accentuate that. Hey, no.
Is there any interesting like thought bubbles? Because we had part of the medium, we get that sort of preview into the character. You think?
Oh.
You may not be vocalizing anything.
It
but
could
you
be
just think
poignant
thoughts
if
of
you
the-
just have nothing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really want it to
Oh.
be. I was like my
Like
gut
full of
reaction was just
static
not-
or something.
Yeah, it's nothing. You don't see anything. No thought bubbles.
Do we get a thought bubble with nothing in it, or do we get no thought bubble? There's like a distinction there. Like
I
it
actually
says-
want no
tells a different
thought
story.
bubble. I want
No
no
thought
thought
bubble,
bubble,
okay.
especially because like I think internal monologue has been a thing this issue. I want like the reader to feel like either she isn't thinking anything or we don't know what she's thinking. I think it's like both ambiguity works nice
Mhm.
for where her characters are right now. Because I think her face isn't vacant. It's like defeated, right? So it's they're like even like looking at her, like I think the way she's drawn, she might have like a furrowed eyebrow, but her eyes are kind of blank. So it's like, is she in thought? Like, what is she thinking about, or is she just kind of empty, right?
Mhm.
Hey,
So-
I heard you. I heard you went to jail.
No response yet. I think you maybe see. Ooh, I think you see like a rattle of like her hands like tense up. They like tense around like the lunch tray or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you like as you're gripping the lunch tray, the light from the bleachers is shot to look like prison bars across your face for a second.
Ooh,
Damn. Fuck.
food's about as good.
I just wanted, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
It was my fault. I know that you're probably really mad at everyone and me, and you have a right to be, because I screwed up. I mean, you Floas threw me in, and I was small, and I was gonna get big, and then I was gonna come help you guys, and well, I got stuck. I got stuck. It's never happened to me. I couldn't change. I couldn't change back, and I was just so small. I didn't know what to do. I had to do something. There was this person with a suit and lasers, and they were gonna attack you guys, and I had to do something. So I tried to fight, and then something woke up.
Like Rodasi like puts her hand on your face, like
Right.
just upside down, but like is like, hey, Shuish. And I think she's still like really quiet. But she's just like crying. And oh god, I think that's like what it is just like I think she like stops you from talking and is just like silently kind of weeping. I think the first speech bubbles you see out of her this issue are just like small little like, you know, what's the onomatopoeia for crying? You know what I mean?
Like huffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they do in manga? Like a bunch of Fs or something like that, or
Yeah.
like a snurf, kind of.
Yeah, a sniffle here
Yeah.
and there.
Andy, do you think you're sharing the vulnerability?
Yeah, I think like as he's explaining it as you put your hand over his mouth. So I think what he gets out is like, it's never happened, and then I changed in a way that I've never changed before, and it's really scary. I had to get really big to break out and stop them from hurting you guys. I had to stop them.
Oh.
And I just don't know what to do. Does Rodasi think that Manny's losing or gaining humanity?
Oh shit. Do I think?
Yeah. Like, I turned into this giant fuck off bat monster that like you probably saw as you
Yeah.
were being arrested.
Oh,
We probably
100%.
cut back to like a black and white panel of you on the ground, like sort of face to the pavement, looking
Yeah,
up
and I
seeing.
see it.
Yeah, this giant thing like erupting
Yeah.
out of the roof.
And I think oh yeah, and I think like Rodasi like immediately like looks like, you know, is like trying not to, you know, yeah, like no cops are noticing it or something. It's just like only Rodasi kind of sees it. Jesus Christ, can you repeat the question? I just want to make sure. Do I?
When you share a vulnerability or weakness
Yeah.
with someone, ask them if they think you're losing or gaining humanity.
Oh no, she's like 100% crying because it's like, no, Manny, no. I think she thinks that you're losing humanity.
Yeah.
which is,
She
like,
might not
terrifying.
verbalize that, but that's what Manny like sort of interprets out of that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Like that's what it is. She's like, God, and like doesn't know how to say it. I think in that moment, right? She like stops you and just kind of starts crying. Oh my god, no! I think like there's a moment. Do you do anything when she kind of stops you from? She's got.
Yeah, like I think his eyes go wide and he like stops, and he's in shock. I think like there's a thought bubble that's like, Rodasi, I'm trying to tell you something.
Oh.
Why would you stop? ...
Uh-huh.
And like you can see like there's a trickle of something in his eye too.
Mm-hmm.
So here's I think, say what you're gonna say, but I have a mechanical trigger as a result of this.
Oh, okay, cool. Cause I think Rodasi like, I think also I think just the dramatic thing is Rodasi like just like hugs you. I think she maybe like kind of comes in to try and like give you a hug, and I think breaks down more. And like maybe there's like startings of words, but she really isn't able to say anything. Does that still trigger your mechanical trigger?
Oh, I mean,
What
yeah,
you wanna do?
it's gonna happen
Yeah.
no matter what.
Okay, cool.
So if I'm losing humanity,
yeah.
I mark a condition.
Okay, perfect.
And I mark potential. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
From last session, I had all
Yo.
of my conditions marked.
Oh.
did.
Oh
So
no!
I lose consciousness or flee, which is great. This is great, like juicy drama.
It's
So
so good.
I think what happens is like you put your hand, like you silence Manny,
Yeah.
and then you're like going in for the hug.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think like as you're like reaching, I think just like breaks your arm away.
Oh, I think the first words that you hear is her trying to say like I'm sorry. You know, like she's like gonna try and like take responsibility for it. You know, it's like, and then you like break, like you don't let her kind of say her thing or try and console you in any way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so he like bats the arm away. And like there's this looming shot of like we're drawn at this angle where we're kind of like stretched away from each other. And he's like, "You're not sorry. You look at me the way everyone else did. The way everyone did that day after I crawled out of the cave. You just think I'm a monster like everything else. I'm trying to take responsibility for putting you in jail. And you look at me like I'm some broken little freak? I wanted to help you, damn it!" And he's like, his voice gets low at that, like, "I wanted to help you, damn it!" And like,
Words
his
crack.
his claw arm like reaches out and like wrenches part of the bleachers apart, like caving them in. And he looks at that and is like, immediately like, "Oh my god, I've just like proven a point." And looks at you, and then I think vanishes,
Ooh, okay.
like sees you, and then is like throws wings up in that defensive position he does, but like chameleon like phases out. For dramatic irony, I'm gonna
Yeah.
mark my doom track to use my infinite power
Just
to
did you
use
more?
camouflage.
Jesus Christ, that dude track
Just, like,
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Also, what is Rodasi's response to that? Because I have another thing that brings my doom closer,
Oh my god.
which is frightening loved ones.
Oh. I actually, so that's the thing is I actually think it might be, I kind of want, because it's you know, it's like trauma versus trauma, right? It's like
Right.
put in chat. So I think like it might be more interesting if it's I don't like you kind of outburst,
Yeah.
and like when the face that you see like looking back, like this is the first time you see like Rodasi's face fully, and it's not, I think it is, it's not, she's not scared,
Yeah.
or like I think it's just what's the emotion I'm trying to look for, like it is like it's concern, it's
Yeah.
it is like a type of love, you know what I mean? It's like this destroyed kind of, I want it to be not what Manny, like it's not the emotion that Manny thought she kind of had.
Yeah. Exactly. He's
you know,
totally he's reading her completely wrong.
He's reading her completely wrong, but still has this outburst, and I think I love, and then like runs away from it still. Like I think
Right.
that all works really well. And it's like, oh, heartache. I saw in chat. It is like that's the thing. Is this? It's this like intense heartache of like, oh, Manny, and you just can't. Also chat, I'm not afraid of you, I'm afraid for you. Like that, it really is. That is the like the thing you see back at you is not that. So I don't think I'm afraid of you. Yeah. Unless maybe it's still dramatically interesting for it to trigger the dew clock, but it's
No, I don't. I'm not angling to like
yeah.
mark that up. I'm just curious.
Yeah,
'cause
okay.
That's a thing.
Oh, and you just and then you vanish, and
He's just gone.
Rodasi, like I think he's like there's just like a panel of Rodasi alone. I think the shadows. I think like without Manny there, the shadows get recast. Like it's like they move back and it's kind of back to like the bleacher kind of jail cell look, right? When before she was like cast by Manny's bat kind of look, and I think she kind of like cleans her face real quick and then just kind of sits there again. Like I don't think she moves. It's just she's back to being alone.
You're back to being alone.
Yeah.
If we want to keep this scene going, I have an idea, or we could move on. How are you feeling, Viditya?
I am. Ooh, I'm interested. I'm very interested. Actually.
Okay, so I think this is one of those things that you notice your second read through of the same comic. In the very distant background of a couple of the panels, when there's like the screech sound of Manny grabbing onto the bleacher, we see a tiny little Flois like perk her head up. And then the next panel, there's just a little line as she's like bumped into the air. And then after he's vanished, we get the couple panels of him being gone, and then she just goes boop, and lands right next to Rodasi.
Ooh, okay, yeah. I do really like that. Yeah.
Panels where Flo's is gone. Like everybody else in the distant background is like looking up and pointing.
Right.
Yeah.
And she when she lands, her sense tendrils are like very like splayed out in all directions. She's like looking for Manny and like twisting around, and she looks at Rodasi and is just like, "What did you do?"
Ooh.
I think like you don't see her face again, right? But Rodasi kind of croaks out the words like, I couldn't, like, it's just like, very small, kind of very croaky letters. It's just like, I couldn't protect him. I couldn't save him from himself.
Jeez. That's rough.
Do y'all have anything else to progress this scene, or do you want to?
That would be good. I mean, unless you want,
Alex, like sort of.
Oh, the Alex, I want to know. Do you want to?
Like, do you have
Yeah, I'm thinking about how I take that.
I think we can transition to more scenes with you and Rodasi, but like
sure.
Yeah,
I think
Like,
I
context.
I reach down and like put my hand on your arm in a like we're gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm for that.
I think it cuts to y'all in pottery class because y'all have that together.
Oh my god.
Jesus fucking
Back
Christ.
at it again.
I feel like I would probably like we're on the way to pottery class.
Okay.
And then there's like we see the door leading out of the school.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And I kind of give you like a significant like tilt towards it.
Oh my god, no, Rodasi is like terrified of breaking the rules right now. So you will need to I'll say this like as a player, you will need to kind of force her out of it, but she's also like you will need to, pull her out. And she won't resist too much because again, she's just like I can't fight right now, I can't I don't have the energy to fight this. But we'll not do this on our own volition.
That's wild. Yeah.
Skip class. If my parents learned that I skipped
if they knew.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I think there's no way that pottery class is gonna work out. I think I still have my hand sort of on your upper arm, and she just like starts taking like little steps, like she's just like stepping out of the panel progressively and pulling you along with her.
Yeah.
And then maybe we cut to somewhere outside the school where we're having a conversation that's less, surrounded by eyes and ears. Is there like a park nearby or something?
Sure. There's Thorpe Park. Jim Thorpe Park.
Cool.
Thorpe?
Thorpe.
They got
Jim
palm
Thorpe,
trees.
the
What do they have
Olympian.
for trees?
They got
They're trees.
Regular
Yeah,
trees
Three
also.
trees?
we don't know.
It's just palm trees everywhere.
Coniferous or
Everywhere.
deciduous?
Yeah.
The two genders.
I feel like for some reason my instinct would be like, let's go sit in the top of a tree somewhere. Like it's not like a
Sunset
nice.
City, Jim Thorpe Park, famous for transplanting redwoods from Northern California. Southern
Oh
California,
my
in the middle of
god.
the
It's a
city.
superhero comic. It can happen.
So you're in a tree about 400 feet in the air.
So yeah,
You
there's
can see
it's
Nevada.
it's got a big enough like thick branch that I'm sort of like sitting on it and leaning back against it. And you could either be sitting or would you be sitting or like hovering?
Oh, I'm sitting. I think
good.
I think you get the. Ooh, this could be interesting. Is that like you kind of lift me up there? Like I think Rodasi is even like kind of afraid to use her powers.
Oh
Yeah, Lucy
dang!
definitely got to talk into what she actually got in that house.
Oh, like 100%.
Yeah.
Like it is like maybe you see like the slightest almost like it's like a natural, like it's like self it's a, what is it, second nature, like almost
Instinct,
like breathing,
yeah.
where like it's an instinct where like when you land you see like a little bit of like the visual imagery of her like kind of correcting herself so she lands a little softer than normal or something like that. But even that, like she doesn't lift herself up. It's like
Right, nice, yeah. Maybe do I even like carry you up like on my shoulder and I'm like climbing the tree with one arm or something?
I do like that. Yeah,
That's pretty cute. You're
I
just
think-
you're sort of floppy.
I'm a little floppy. I think maybe even like at that point, because I think it's just a very cute little like comic series that happens of you trying to pull me up, and I think you even get like little bits of this would just be like, please, like why, like very
yeah,
groany, like
That's
knows
great.
that she's kind of being dead weight.
yeah. Okay, so then we've gotten up to the top of the tree, and I think I just like I just say like tell me everything. Tell me how it happened. There's no one else here.
Oh my god. Oh, I think that opens the goddamn floodgates. Like, Rodasi just starts.
That's a comfort of
wailing.
support.
Yeah,
Holy
which I'm not
shit.
great at right now, so that's gonna be interesting.
Ooh.
That's what we call a 1.
That's what we call one. But
Oh
it's
boy.
towards a, there's a
Maybe
whole
you
thing.
were
I mean,
expecting the cry.
Rodasi can still choose to open up to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just you get potential and Kevin makes a move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That move can be any.
Tree fall.
I think it still works because I think that's interesting, is that like Rodasi just, I just love that your wording probably hits like no one else is, like it's just us, and I think she just fucking loses it and just starts like, I think, cry, yelling like, I'm so sorry, like I'm so sorry, it was me, I wanted to play hero and I dragged all of you into this, and
Oh.
and like it's a poison Filodhas, you know, like I wanted to do something good, and I don't even know if I wanted to do it good for the right reasons, you know, and then you learn just horrible things about horrible people, and what does it mean to be a hero, and was I don't even know anymore, and I put you all in danger. I left the house to chase her, and you all were there at gunpoint, and Manny was God knows where. I saw him, and he changed, and I know how much changing hurts him in that way, and I don't like, and is just ranting, you know, it's just rambling at this point, and it's just like, and I think like she then you transition to her yelling about her family a little bit. It's like, and she just
Got a lot going on.
Yeah, and she just sat there. She just sat there in the car, and she just let me sit there. She knows what was waiting for me in that house, and she did nothing. She didn't stay with me. She didn't talk to me. I don't know. I made a mistake, right? Like you need somebody. She is the one person who should be there. Yeah, Kevin. To understand that we make mistakes and what happens when we make mistakes in this goddamn household, and you know, and then it goes even more, and it's just like, and I don't even know how to. And when you're in the public eye, like, I know that's the whole thing, but it's, you know, my misery isn't my misery, it's everyone's misery, it's everyone's mistake. It's the news's new headline. It's the paper's new front page. It's and like, yeah, she's just fucking losing.
Each
so
panel has a
good.
little box that says later.
Yeah.
Later
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. And I think
much later.
we get like going down like the side of the page. There's a series of reaction panels from Filodhas, and like her little Sensi tendrils just keep getting like droopier and droopier, and then they like. I feel like they start to sort of like vibrate weirdly, and like some like dust starts coming off of them, and this is her version of like crying.
Oh, I think I like turn around and I see this, and I'm just like, Filodhas, are you crying? I'm so sorry.
And she's like, no, and like waves her hand in front of her face and like tries to disperse the like growing cloud of dust.
I see. I don't want to make this your problem. I'm sorry.
And I think there we cut to Manny and Tanvi and Leela all sitting together in the gymnasium on bleachers, and a big text bubble that says, "You've made this our problem, and now we have to handle it." And sort of like we get a wide shot of all the student body, and then like two like little missing silhouettes where Rodasi and Filodhas should be. A like a school, what are they called? Like meeting? Assembly has been called by the principal. Principal Wallace is sort of standing up front, and for like sort of she keeps talking, and like sort of it blends it out, sort of smudges the text out as like you're not really listening. You see another student sort of looking on their phone, watching like a news broadcast of the woman whose house you invaded, who you assaulted in her home. She's saying like these children, they need to be helped. They can't help themselves, so we need to help them. And if our schools aren't doing this, then it sort of like cuts out. And the principal, she says, you all know that powered use has been, we give you a lot of leeway, but you all know the rules, and now the school's on probation. We are going to be audited and investigated based on the actions of some of the student body. everybody kind of looks to those two empty spaces. At least one of those empty spaces.
Yeah.
And Tanvi and Manny, you like feel eyes on you, and like Leela, she's got a very like cavalier at it, like expression on her face. Like she doesn't really give a shit. And sort of for a moment, a security guard comes up to Principal Wallace, like tells her something, and like she says a little bit louder into the mic than she intended to. She's not here. The one who did all this. You lost a student.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Tanvi tries.
I
Has to hide a laugh.
So, Manny.
So I'm back in the scene. I've cleared a condition. I've cleared afraid, because that's what happens when you flee. Is you come back whenever the GM tells you, and you clear one condition. So I'm not gonna get nuked again.
No.
I think Manny's feeling a lot of conflicting emotions. But he hears that like little thing, and there's a serious, there's like a little internal argument that's like, you can't let her take the blame for this again. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What did you just have that conversation about? Like, no, she's still your friend, you dingus. You have to do something. Manny stands up in the sea of students, and is like, Principal Wallace,
So,
I'm
like,
responsible.
Gets cut off.
It was a prank. It was my idea. I should be suspended. You don't need to punish everybody else for my stupid mistake. I mean, I don't know any better, right?
She's like looking at you like confused, and like sort of like confused, one, that like this is happening, and two, like she doesn't know your name. Like she doesn't, like, let's be real, this is not like
Right.
This is a little bit more realistic of a image of a principal. She does not know the name of every student in the student body.
There's 2,000 kids
Yeah,
here
exactly.
at least, right?
And then Mr. Koa like stands up, he's like, Manny, sit down. And then like Principal Wallace looks at Mr. Koa and like, what the hell is happening? Is this your student? You know this kid? And Mr. Koa looks at you like, you're gonna get me in trouble, you little shit.
What does that expression look like on his jellyfish face?
They're like the jelly like sort of conforms, like as if it's been pushed into a ice mold of a confused face.
Yeah, I guess the question is, Mr. Koa like more Osmosis Jones, or more like a more humanoid shaped Hanar from Mass Effect?
That's really, I've just been
I want him to
imagining
be a Hanar.
like a humanoid shaped Hanar. It's so fucking good.
It's good.
Just a jelly
What that
mold.
looks like.
Yeah, more like Hanar, who can sometimes like, emote, is like what I've been imagining.
So the like little jellyfish ridge at the top is
Yeah,
furrowed like
furrowed.
eyebrows.
Yeah,
Yes.
Holy shit!
No, this is great.
Okay, yeah, this is what I've been thinking.
and like
too.
all of the tentacles and stuff, like they like look hostile.
Yeah.
They always look hostile, but they look like especially hostile.
They look
Viewers,
like they could
readers,
strike at any second.
imagine an angry jellyfish and you got it.
Imagine, if you will, an angry jellyfish.
Mr.
And
Koa,
emote-
like editor's note, also known as Man of War.
Yeah.
Fucking
Probably not
forgot
relevant.
that.
Probably not. Have we mentioned that yet? I don't... Nobody knows.
Once you've imagined this jellyfish, can you rotate it in your mind? That's the...
Stop. Shut the fuck up.
Tanvi,
Is
would
the
you
jellyfish blue and yellow or white and gold?
Stop. On a scale of how much you can imagine this jellyfish, do you have a Fantasia?
like, Tanvi, are you also Spartacus?
Nope.
I was trying to figure out if Tanvi would also be like,
Right.
oh, I mean, there was a bunch of us there.
Y'all do what you want to do. For me as a player to like explain what I'm doing here, I'm angling to clear guilty,
Right.
which is make a sacrifice to absolve your guilt
That's
Yeah.
very reasonable.
in the most like extreme way possible.
I love.
So you do what you want to do. I'm just here to tell a story.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of what Tanvi's like feelings in this moment are. Because I don't know that she. Let's see. I think she jumps up too. I think that makes sense because she also, when they left, she like left. She was just like, I hope she gets out. We're going into the ground.
yeah.
And I think definitely like, and she, my condition is also guilty, so she also is like, ooh, that feels shitty. She's the only one that's whose name is being listed here, and the whole school is getting marked for this, but only she's getting the blame. Yeah, so Tanvi would get up, especially because she's kind of like, I'm the villain that people expect me to.
You're already on probation.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
I'll live up to the name.
Yeah, so she gets up too, and she's like, there were more than just Orbital at that place. I was there too. We weren't nameless people. We were there together. We made a decision together to be there. No one was dragged to this house. So if you're handing out suspensions or punishments, you might as well hit everyone that was there.
Manny gives a very shocked, but like kind of like almost approving look over at Tanvi. I think it's the first time, like even like in I think in the panel where you left with Leela, I think Manny was like, oh, there goes my klutz of a sister again. Like this is the first time in the whole like comic line that he's been shown to be like, I don't actually like totally hate your guts here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you influence.
I think
Unless you already have it.
we get the
Yeah, I
shot of
think so.
both of you standing pretty small in the bleachers, and Principal Wallace like sort of whispers to the security guard, and then says, "Well, regardless, the entire school is still under probation, and you all know better that unless you are on our designated team, you are not to be conducting vigilante activities unlicensed. So, until further notice, anyone caught committing any vigilante activities will be expelled. You're all dismissed." And sort of, she whispers to security guard once again, and security guard does like a superhero type of motion, like points at you two and points at the ground, and you two just like rip from there, like just like teleport in front of
Oh
him.
fuck yeah!
Yeah, and you're standing in front of him. And he's like, "All right, let's go." And then we get a 2-page spread of you two getting processed in like the school time version of what Rodasi went through.
Some security
Oh,
guard.
It's
with-
still like it still gets washed, like it's sort of washed as unsaturated
Yeah.
colors, and like y'all look all sad, and you go to the principal's office. and
Red
then
stamp goes on our permanent
Yeah.
records.
Yeah.
You get sat down. Your guardian, she shows up. She sort of like stands there, very disappointed, like sort of like like tired, like I do not have time for this. And like as you two are being escorted out by your guardian, like you pass Mr. Cohen. Mr. Cohen's just like his face just buried in 2 tentacles. His face. Just like real disappointed, like this could have been handled a lot more tactfully, but no. And as you walk outside, like you get in the car and you're driving, and it gets like it's like that we get like a couple of panels of like the lights passing over y'all, and then a couple panels of lights not passing over y'all, as like a shadow is cast over the city, and then we get a wide shot of the city, and like there's this huge fuck off spaceship hovering over the city.
Oh no.
The word?
Yeah,
Well,
Normal
and that's
stuff.
where we're gonna go to break.
Yeah, word? Aight.
Excuse me.
Eat your jerky. Jemison's meats.
Every
It makes you sweet.
ad.
That's it. That's the line read. That's the take.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed season 3 of Twin Peaks and your Jemison's meats.
What?
Welcome back. So the next page you turn to, you see Rodasi, a close-up of Rodasi's face in space, in the blackest space. And Rodasi's got a big old black eye. And Rodasi's looking down at the planet, and it looks like there's a giant mountain where the city was. And then we cut down to Filodhas looking up, and it looks like there's a giant spaceship above the city.
I
And we get a
you're-
profile view of the city, and there's a spaceship that's like a big old round disc, and it's got like this like pile. It's like if you put a mountain on a laser disc, is what it looks like. And if there's trees growing on it, and it's about let's say like 2 counties wide. Lois, you know this is one of your people's ships.
yep. That's wild.
It's blackout. It's blacked
It's
out.
like
the
a
sun.
world ship.
People are freaking out. People think they're suddenly that the
So the reader obviously is asking, what did I miss? We see a shot of Floa sitting there with her fist like raised up, and there's like a cloud with like a little hole in it above her, and then the next page has a little flashback to Rodasi finishing up the conversation with her.
Yeah. It's like you're crying and I'm crying. It's like you get it, right? Like you have this whole, oh my god, like I think like I put my arm around you, and it's like you have, so you're basically the ambassador for your entire species here. Like you have to you have to be this big champion, and you get the weight of what it means. Like orbital, the title orbital is not just like space powers. It's not just gravity and density and the being of a black hole. It's being the catalyst for the start and end of the universe. It's so much, and I don't actually think I want that responsibility. And this is like, it's like I just want to be a hero, this is Rodasi opening up all of the vulnerability that's been happening, and this is I'm telling you a secret about our legacy and and my own feelings about it.
Nice.
And so I'm going to clear a condition. I think I'm gonna clear angry.
Mhm.
And I feel like clearing angry also leads into what we're like, the setup of what's happening. And then also you gain influence over me, but you
Alright, have influence over you. Yeah.
shift
So
my
I
labels,
think
buddy.
I think the way that shift is gonna go is I'm gonna say you've like finally talked yourself out, right? All of these emotions. And Floas just kind of like puts a hand on your shoulder and says, what you did for everyone was an honorable thing. It was also really not smart to get caught by the police, but you still acted as you should have. I think I still don't understand everything about how heroism works, but according to me, you are a hero. So I'm going to put your superior down and your savior up.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
You're not making strategic choices, but you are making right choices.
That's really
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
And
No, yeah, I think you see, like, you know, Rodasi's face has gotten a few kind of close-ups this issue, and I think, like, you know, some of the heavy line work, the tough shadows have kind of been like eased out a bit throughout this, and you're kind of seeing her. She looks at you, and her eyes are like just really baggy from all the crying and stuff like that. Just kind of like the weakest little smile, kind of is like, oh, Forrest, you know.
and then we cut back to Flois, and she's kind of like looking away from you, like she's embarrassed to say something. She's like rubbing the back of her neck, and she says like, I am not good at talking about how I feel, and I don't want to, but I'm so mad right now at those people, and they were so mean to everyone, and I'm going to flip out, and she like puts her hands on both her shoulders, and she's like, I need to hit something as hard as I can, and you're the only person I can do that to who will be okay afterwards. Can I hit you as hard as I can? Ah!
Damn. You hit him that hard.
Viditya off the internet.
I have to do it.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Well, that's
let him
very
make it.
exciting for everyone.
That's the kind of content you can only get here.
If it had just been 3 seconds later, so I could have gone boom.
I think in comic book fashion, we don't need to see the panel where Rodasi says yes.
That's fair.
The editor says yes on their behalf.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So we just see Rodasi flying into space.
Team
get
Rocket just
Jet stream.
And then as we go back to the panel of Flois looking up, her fist raised up, the cloud pushed apart by Rodasi passing through it, and then seeing the ship of her people just vorp in.
Yeah.
And I think she just falls out of the tree.
I think as
She's
you're
just
falling, we follow
totally
you.
stunned.
We get like a bunch of vertical panels, like following you down this tree. It's a lot of panels because it's a big fucking tree. Before you hit the ground, you vorp out of existence.
Yes.
And we get like a squirrel that comes and picks up a nut that we're like right where you're about to fall and runs off. And then we get a panel of you landing on a big like patch of really fluffy, luxurious verdant grass, and like sort of two shadows like step up and like are cast over your fallen figure. And you look up and you see your progenitors. I don't know if you call them parents. I don't know. You're an alien. Your culture's different.
Sure. Parents seems fine.
Sure. Like we get like everything from here on out is like an asterisk of translated from
Churton.
Churton, thank you. Everything here is spoken in Churton, but we read it in English. So parents is the appropriate translation of your parents,
Nice.
like sort of having arrived, and like they like one of them picks you up and Flows, we received your distress call. Sarah, and like it like sort of flashes back to those waves that you admitted when you're trying to sense the symbiote in Leela, and like it shows those going through the wormhole and going to your planet and to your parents and showing them like while they were at work and like suddenly parking up and like sort of parental alert and then summoning the spaceship, and then this whole like complicated anime-esque sequence of them like pressing all these buttons and pulling levers on the spaceship and it flying out, going through the wormhole, or like a speech bubble list like of big panorama of them standing in front of like what looks like an invading force almost on this ship, and then the ship like just suddenly warping into the orbit of Earth above Sunsets in California.
Amazing. Wow. Okay. So just for mechanical purposes, I'm clearing my angry from punching my friend into orbit. I think that probably counts as hurting someone
I
who's
think that's
important to you.
exactly what it says in text.
Good. And I am very surprised by this happening, obviously. Oh, hey. Hello? Is that?
Have a Viditya shortly, I think.
Cool.
It's fine. We don't have to.
So I
Not
think
everything has to be about them.
I think she just like sinks down, just like flops down onto her knees. Not like kneeling, but like when you sort of like sit down in between your feet.
Right.
And just like looks up at them and is like, I could use some help. Earth is really weird.
Child, worry not. We will burn it to ash.
That's good. Earth didn't do anything wrong. Most of the people here
I'm very
are
confused.
nice. Why are you here?
We received your call that your life was in danger.
She like looks down at herself like, I'm good. Flex.
Sort of them like sort of being very confused. You say that there's strange creatures here and we trusted you to amongst them, like sort of we trusted their kind based on their sovereign, and like they gestured to the statue, the spinning image of Rodasi but in a different costume. And like,
yes,
context, this is Rodasi's grandmother, the original orbital who opened up the black hole and discovered your planet. But if you would tell us otherwise, I believe they have a saying on this planet: ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Oh, hey, welcome back.
You can pick your favorites and we can certainly accommodate them.
Just collect up the ones you like.
Oh, no. This must be some sort of misunderstanding. This planet is it's weird, but it's not dangerous. In fact, I actually got into a pretty cool fight the other day, and I start like regaling them with the tales of our recent heroic exploits,
Right.
and how cool I
good
was. Yeah. And I think I also will, if this goes on for long enough, I get into like,
Right.
and then there were some weird mean humans. I hit them with a fridge, like,
I imagine it's like the art style, like you turn the page and the art style goes from like sort of an illustration of what embroidery of an embroidered tapestry would look like.
yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Of all the issues,
Sick.
adventures up
Yes.
until this point.
Sick.
Oh, Book of Kells stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
good. Very good.
Bayou Tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Oh, we got like a guest artist to do these who specializes in
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, so we get this beautiful rendition. We've got the Manny bat busting out, and we have like Rodasi like wrapped in chains being taken away, and Tanvi like burrowing into the earth with like super cool powers and stuff, and she's like, no, they don't seem like they can threaten me at all, which
Of course,
is great.
they're only a threat to themselves. They're nothing to us.
But it's I came to this planet to win honor and glory, to ascend to heights among their heroes, and to put down their monsters and their villains. But what do I do when they're just people? They're just bad little people. They're not super villains. They're not riding on giant robots and dinosaurs. They were having a barbecue, but they still want to kill children. I don't nothing prepared me for this.
It is the belief in our culture that regardless of one's physical prowess, hate in one's heart is evil regardless.
Right, but how can I meet them on the field of honor when they don't go there? They're hiding and skulking and shooting guns at people who were already forgotten by this city. What am I to do? I went and fought them, and now my friends are being persecuted and imprisoned as though they're wrong. And I'm like starting to get mad again and like clench my fingers in the grass and like rip up a tuft of it.
Yeah. One of your parents is not the greater harm to allow such evil to carry out, regardless of how much you must debase yourself to rid their planet of it? And like your other parents like, what? Shut up! Don't encourage that. Fucking sociopath.
You got a cool parent, is what you got.
If they are harming those weaker than themselves, they are the dishonorable ones and do not deserve honor in turn.
It's true, but
You will never meet a dishonorable individual in an honorable field. They will always turn to dishonor, regardless of the circumstance.
Okay. It sounds like they're telling me how the world works, but I don't know how. Is that going to shift my labels somehow?
Yeah, they're definitely trying to shift your labels. They're definitely trying to put your mundane down and probably your superior up. At least this parent is. Like, no,
You are a great warrior
You're a
of a
great
great
warrior.
stock.
Yeah.
Not
You
one of
should
these
rotate.
pithy humans
Yeah.
with their
Cool.
TikToks.
Have they like? Are they like? This is like, we've rid our society of this already, and it's like,
We have progressed beyond the need for.
yeah.
It's probably like Klingons, where like this still exists, but like they take care of it pretty quick when it pops up.
Right.
Right. It's a
Like, and,
pretty
it's an agreed upon. Like everybody's like convinced. Like, oh, that's why you just stabbed that guy. All right, cool.
right. You know, we see a flag or like an emblem on the wall of the spaceship, and it's like a ring of horns that are all facing outward with like, you know, a representation of their planet inside of it, like the herd gathering together to you know, face people who are outside of it.
Right. There's like
That's
fables
cool.
of like rooting out the sickness in the herd before it infects everyone and like sort of decimates the stock.
Yeah.
Wow.
But not in like a gross eugenic kind of way.
But not in
In a nice way.
It's
In a nice
yeah.
way.
It's
racist.
So yeah, I
Is
will accept my labels getting shifted. That sounds great to me.
Awesome. So Your dad hands you a gun and tells you to go take care. No, but like your dad, your parent is gonna be like,
Yeah.
well, then of course you know what to do. And like the other parent's like, you need to follow your instincts. Be that conforming to Earth's standards or to sort of motioning to your other parent. But the other parent, like the one encouraging you, is like, and if your instincts should tell you that you should follow your culture's ways, know that as the ambassador of our people on this planet, you have diplomatic immunity.
Amazing. I did not expect that. That's great. So she says like,
And should they retaliate against you, we will bring the full might of the fleet.
and I think she kind of like stands up at that, and like gets, because I haven't really suffered a humiliating defeat. I haven't had anything happen that particularly makes me feel worthless. So I still feel legendary. So I think I reach over and I put my hand on my dad's chest and I shove him, like playfully, but like enough
Right.
to make him move.
No, yeah, and he smiles, like sort of very like, oh, so we're gonna, all right.
And I say, I don't need a fleet. I am the fleet.
Ooh.
This big
Yeah!
old, like proud grin.
Yeah.
He's like, I won this one. Looking at the other parent.
Yeah.
God, that rules so hard.
I think that
Well,
that
We spent all the energy getting here, so we're gonna stay a little while. But
that's cool. I think it's I can show you around, and maybe we can go talk to the elders down in the little Cowtown district and see what they think of all this. I haven't gone over there yet, so I mean they're gonna, they probably noticed you're here, so it seems polite.
yes, we get like a little montage of you showing them around Sunset City,
Cute.
getting ice cream.
To the walk of fame.
Riding the
Like,
trolley car or
Yeah.
whatever. We have to have trolley cars in
Oh, but there's
in
definitely
Sunset City,
trolley
right?
cars.
Yeah.
Rodasi, you're like up in orbit. Like you see
yeah, I'm here.
a mountain has appeared from your perspective above the city. You've been
Oh my
explicitly
God.
told not to pull any hero shit.
Yeah, what do you do up in
Oh,
your tin
You have no
can high
context
above
for
the
like
world?
this alien invasion.
Just fucking
You get like
Floating.
you're like Zack Snyder's Superman up in orbit. and
Oh
shit.
my god, I totally am. Aren't I?
Gross.
Awful. I wanna do something that we have never talked about, but so this might be like unleashing my powers or something, or can I commune with the black hole?
Yo!
That sounds like you're
Mm.
trying to spread your sensory perception.
Spread my senses. Okay, that is a move that I have never thought about, so I like completely forget. So yeah.
Especially if it's not
that's-
something that you normally do.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's a trigger that I completely forget exists. I think like I'm up in space, right? While I'm here, I may as well try and like get some answers. I don't know. I
Mhm.
think the way. So before I roll, I think the way Rodasi like frames this is like you see her close her eyes. You see. You slowly like the borders of the comic panels, like it's you see her kind of floating, and the borders start to dissolve away as like an entire. We got like a half page like
Mhm.
just space and her, and 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 then there's just like a little kind of like maybe I think it like there's like weird juxtaposition of zooming into the emptiness of space, her small against the stars and earth, and then also like close-ups of her face that like really personalize it and stuff like that. So it's like this switch in between, and then it, as you kind of see her senses try and reach out to become one with space, and then she just goes, "Hey, mom?" Question mark.
Oh.
And I think that's me trying to reach out to the void.
Yeah.
Your like, hand reaches out to touch the nothingness.
You tried to talk to your mom. Roll plus 3.
We could make you a move for communing with the void eventually.
That could be a lot of fun. All right, please God, did I clicked it? There it is. Okay, cool. I don't know how tenuous my internet is right now, so oh my God, please work. That's an 8, so on a hit.
You do it.
I do it. Market condition, or the GM will tell you how the effect is unsustainable or temporary. I'll dealer's choice, honestly.
Conditions do you have?
I actually only have hopeless right now.
Only that's no fun.
That's no fun.
More misery.
Maybe if you were like 1 away from like, dying. You know what it is this is some like classic cliche science fiction bullshit. You're suddenly like sitting under a tree in some plush grass.
Ooh.
And like sort of you roll over onto a picnic blanket, and like your perspective is like real small. And it shows like Rodasi as a child, like in a fucking jumper.
Yeah.
Sort of, and like your mom is sitting there sort of on this picnic blanket, like with food all laid out, all these trays and all these little dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Your father's like out in the distance playing with your sister. Brody, what are you doing? No, stop that. Put that down.
Oh,
You shouldn't be messing around like that. Come on, you know this.
I got a knife in my hand. I think that well, I had a picnic. You know what I mean? Is that too much? Yeah, it's fine.
No, it's fine. That's your instinct. That's your instinct.
I don't think it's like malicious, right? Like maybe there's like it's like because like you like look up, I'm here. I had nothing in my hands, and all of a sudden I had like I was like just idly playing with something, right? Sorry, Mom. Sorry. I put it down. I think I kinda is it more interesting that I am just presented as a child? Like I think it's like I'm just presented as a child, but I still like talk to her.
You're just presented as a child.
Yeah. Cool.
It's not like a memory you're reliving. Well, it's like you put it back into the context of a memory you have.
Yes.
Shared with your mother.
I'm definitely getting that vibe. I just wanted to kind of see kind of how it plays out. So I think like Rodasi like sits down next to her mom.
Your mom like, towers over you the way like adults do over toddlers.
Yeah. It's all like played up, right? Like the perspectives.
It's all like a fisheye probably is the way it's drawn.
Ooh. Hey.
Is it even like Charlie Brown style where like her face is always out of frame?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's really good. Yeah.
Nice.
And Rodasi's like, hey, I miss you.
I'm here, kid. I've always been here.
Yeah. Dad really Dad really like gave me the works last night, the night before. I may be messed up. Maybe I'm worried. Wish maybe you were here to give me answers.
No, you wish I was here so you stand in the way between you and Dad, so you wouldn't have to deal with that. That's what you want.
Yeah. Maybe I think Rodasi like is, you know, a little child, and I think she's like maybe even like feels like she's getting smaller.
Like nobody would talk to a child. Like she's talking to you like you're an adult.
Yeah, I love it. But like the visual representation is that like she feels more and more like a little baby. Maybe I needed that, you know? Maybe I don't have a shield anymore. I just, you know, everyone tells me when I do something wrong, but they don't tell me how to do right anymore.
This is where the editor has to fight his own instincts to be really shitty.
Oh my god!
I'm trying to be in character. No, like legitimately. Like trying to, like, your mom says something comforting is like kind of the cheap way to say that. But like they only your dad is just scared. People are scared. It's easy to see all the monsters in the shadows. It's easy to see all the cracks in the railing. I mean, hell, you lost your mom.
Oh.
Imagine what it's like. You knew me for about, what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
Me and him were 18 years, kid. Come on. That comes with a little bit of flinch. I'm not saying he's not being a prick, but
I guess I want to be or not. I don't want to be. It's like I feel guilty for a lot. And every time I do something wrong with these powers, I'm reminded that you're not here to have them. And to
whoa.
That Senny is out there being you, and I don't know if I can. And I think she kind of trails off and is like, what is it? I think she trails off a little, and then there's maybe like a panel of silence of like, again, just like this field, or maybe there's a panel of like Rodasi's like dad and sister like playing or something like that, right? Like we're kind of playing the scene a little bit visually. What is it? And I think this is like the reason why I kind of called her, is like, what does it mean to be orbital? Can I even be orbital? Questioning legacy. This is
Yeah.
This is the book.
Here's the secret. It's whatever you want it to be. Because they're going to say whatever they want to say about you. And all you can do is, you can't control what they think, what they say. So it's about what you think and what you do, what you say. Their feelings are not your problem. Gravity doesn't care what space dust thinks.
I think Rodasi kind of like repeats that a little bit, right? Is like gravity doesn't care what space thinks.
Space does.
Huh?
Space dust.
Space does. Sorry.
Implying like gravity is a force of nature, like
Yeah.
and the things that it impacts upon are not its problem, or not its concern.
Right. So I feel like this is a good you see the orbital kind of powers, right? Like the visualization being like you see maybe like a few of the picnicky things like lifting up a little bit. And she's like I'm gravity. And it's like kid version of her says this, right? Like, I'm gravity. And then like the next panel, or like you flip the page and it's like her, I think like, oh god, is it better? Is it her in the grassy field or her back in space?
It fades between.
Ooh, yeah, like you see kind
one
of
panel
both.
is in the field, and then the next is the same pose but in space.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's just like full. It's just
Yeah, we get
Rodasi.
like two full pages, like sort of back to back facing each other, like where they mirror each other.
And she just goes, "I'm orbital," and then I think it's like that's like her whole little like, and then like you see her powers. She's kind of activated them. She's no longer just floating and is like kind of standing in space.
Your mom is definitely trying to shift your levels here.
Yeah.
Did you also share a vulnerability or weakness with your mom?
Yeah.
I could do that with my mom.
This is with
someone,
it's
Yeah.
anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that with the visual manifestation of the black hole that gave my powers and also took my mom away from me. So it's kind of,
I don't know. You're
know?
Asian. We
Still
can't share
some.
vulnerabilities with our parents.
with our well, it's see, that's the thing. Here's the loophole, Kevin. It's technically not my parent.
Yeah, if it's not someone, then no.
But what is the center of the universe then? Just a chum that I could call up.
She's trying to push your mundane down. Yeah, but what's she trying to push it up?
I would take.
Savior,
I guess
think.
she's gonna push my mundane up.
I think she's trying to push your mundane down and your savior up.
My mundane up, down.
Yeah, good gravity
savior.
does not care for.
Oh yeah, I was like, no, I'm more than happy with that. I think I love the juxtaposition of Rodasi now at like 3 savior, like -1 mundane is feeling like oh no, I have like what does it mean to be a hero? And it's like I gotta be one. I have to do the thing. Yeah. And if I can talk to somebody, and sorry, if I am sharing my vulnerability with someone, then I'll clear condition. I'd clear hopeless.
That just makes sense.
That's the one that's left.
And give them influence over you.
And give me give her influence. Yeah.
Sort of reflecting your unstable sort of, etc. of your initial movement, stretching your powers. Sort of you're back in, like, we're back in that field, and like you look up past your mom's shoulders, and her face is just warped in like this fucking, like somebody took the Photoshop swirl to her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So like it's supposed to be like implying like, wait, should I really talk to my mom, or is like is this black hole something?
Yeah.
It's like supposed to be unsettling.
Like, oh, it's like kind of interesting because it's like, is this black hole, like, is the black hole kind of manipulating me into continuing?
Is the black hole like
use
using
it
the memory of my mother to influence me?
to influence me?
Or is this really my mom? Or is my mom corrupted by the black hole? Like all these kinds of things.
Like, what's going on? Yeah, I really love it. And I think it's like, it's the source of my powers doesn't want me to use it. Like, what's going, what I mean? Like, what if I
sort
gave
of
it back?
to get more visceral? It's like your mom, and then like sort of as it swirls, you see like layers going down. Like, so you see some muscle and fat, and then you see bone, and then it's just a black void, like right in the center.
Yeah. Oh, it's gnarly. Nice. You're not
like
marking
with that face, like it has like a little speech bubble, like says like, tell your sister to visit more. She hasn't called me in a while.
I love it.
God, amazing.
Oh, I love that so much. So here's my want. I want Rodasi to crash down into a scene. So I would like to cut to somebody else, and she kind of just is all like, we're fucking, who's ready to go? Kind of.
Right, because you just had your like come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
You come back totally different from where you left.
Totally different. I'm like, actually, where's Manny? Because
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
think
thinking.
Rodasi needs to drop in on Manny and be like, hey,
Yeah.
bud.
The two of us Tanvi and I
Oh, yeah.
You
got
got
shipped
picked up.
back home. So I think
Yeah.
I think we're grounded.
Yeah.
You're like, and being grounded for you is being forced to volunteer at the clinic,
Yeah.
because of course the community clinic always needs more help.
Well, and I think our foster parent also like really believes in restorative justice.
Right.
It's
Oh,
like
that's
the prison
good.
industrial complex, the public school system is a pipeline to the prison system.
Right. Which you should
in
know.
the city.
And so you shouldn't be getting in trouble, and so you shouldn't be getting my ass dragged out there. You getting
Right.
suspended, and like they said it's gonna be at-home suspension, but hell no, you're going to in-school suspension.
Mhm.
If
You're
you're
working
gonna
the lunch
protest, you're gonna
lines.
do it the right way.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in school. You're gonna be doing your homework. You're not just gonna be sitting at home playing your old rings.
Your,
Okay?
your older
Old
rings.
The
Oh my
eldest ring.
I see.
Test me one more time. I'll take that second Saturn away. Okay.
The Dreamcast was the hit in our alternate
Manny, you're
universe.
like volunteer. You're taking
Yeah,
out, like, the
volunteering
inside
makes-
the back,
Mhm.
and we get this like long shadow coming up the alley, and my connection's unstable. We're good.
Are you good?
Is it okay? So we get like a long, like sort of imposing shadow like going up the alley, and then we cut to Lila at the mouth of the alley, like, hey.
Here to make fun of me like everybody else.
For you self-implicating yourself, or
Just everything. I don't know. everyone has something to say to me, so I don't know. You might as well get it off your chest. Have at.
I mean,
An
you're a
open
popular guy.
target.
Just like walks up to you, pokes you in the side, like trying to tickle you.
Ow!
Oh no. Oh, did that hurt? Oh my gosh. Such a poor baby.
I thought you were gonna like use words, not. Here, fold this, and he shoves like some like donated clothes in her hands. Like it's like a bunch of sweaters and stuff. Like
Damn, you know how to show a girl a good time.
he like is drawn like full Teen Titans chibi angry blush sweat mode.
Right.
Yeah.
Aw.
Look, I am on punishment right now, and I need to get through this quickly and quietly without any disruptions. So if you want to hang out, we're doing this.
We get like a couple panels of like y'all doing chores together,
Oh.
and sort of once you're like wrapped up, like maybe on a break or something, like try to get some juice boxes. Just like kind of shitty of them to leave you holding the bag.
What, this? No, I do it all the time. It's kind of nice, actually. You kind of turn your brain off and just get into the groove, and just really mop the grout.
No, I mean ditching the assembly, leaving you and Tanvi to kind of pick up the pieces.
Look, Tanvi stood up with me. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but what
And
is the other two?
Rodasi's got.
The other one, I think she would say.
He looks down at the ground, like kicks a pebble away, swirls the like off-brand LaCroix. Rodasi's got a lot going on.
Everybody's got a lot going on.
He pauses, he takes a pull, he like holds eye contact. What do you got going on?
Oh,
Go. You're in trouble anyway. They can't double suspend you.
You're dodging the question.
Well, you see, they always say show, don't tell, right? And
I don't
how
know, I don't pay
mysterious
attention in
cool girl
English.
vibe and, you know. You want to leave helpless old me to wander the streets of the city all by herself in the dark of night, all alone.
He was like, hang on. You yelled down all those punks in the alley the other day. You
Yeah.
showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know how to fight. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
He leans back and he like puts his little bat feet up and kind of like leans against the wall. He's really smugly like, I think you're making excuses to spend time with me.
Manny.
Yes, Manny.
Manny, you're so perceptive. And it's just that, you know, I could just really use somebody with your skills. You're so good at playing a scapegoat.
Wow.
She like kind of ribs you a little. Like, come on, let's go.
Right. He gives her like the sour, like, okay, this is how we do it, right? Like, okay, we're gonna be doing this. It's this energy.
Yeah.
And then he looks around as he's like being dragged, like as he's being dragged out of the panel. I think he like quickly shoves like a pile of something like clothes onto the counter. Like, oh wait, gotta do this, or like hurriedly locks a door.
Mm-hmm. I think it cuts back to school. Like, sort of Manny's probably got a very confused face,
Right.
and like it cuts to like walking into the auditorium once again, and like sort of taking seats, and up on stage, Rick Brick is standing up there with a skull doing a monologue. He's doing his best Hamlet as he can.
Oh, alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. Line?
All of Rick's text in the text boxes, it always is like in a wavy line.
Oh, I love it.
What the hell is this?
Rick's powerless, right? Like, I just need.
He's
know.
powerless.
No, I mean.
The Shakespeare is flowing through him.
His
The
power is
tide.
his words.
Die. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye,
Mr.
there's
Fox,
the rub.
Mr. Fox, the theater teacher, sort of stands up. Is like, Richard, that was so great. Thank you so much. Looks like, who do you have next? Who's auditioning next? And sort of Leela, she like sort of nudges you to stand up.
Why are we here?
Auditioning for the play.
I'm what?
So you say that, you probably like say that loud enough
Yeah.
that Mr. Fox like looks around. Oh, hey, yeah, come on up.
No, I was
you have
just. He looks back. He's like,
Leela stands up. We're gonna audition together. We have a scene prepared. She like sort of very quickly like pulls up on her phone, like texts you a link to a script.
so he like goes eyes wide, panicking, and turns back and like, I was just preparing my voice. Red leather, yellow leather. And smash cuts to like this horrible Manny's in a ridiculously oversized blazer. No, like a he's in a he's tossed out the hoodie.
Yeah.
So he's wearing a tank top.
Oh, that's figure.
Leela has like a hastily thrown on like evening dress, and they're doing like a bit from Streetcar Named Desire.
Perfect.
And Manny's like tearing the tank top like, Stella.
He's gotten very into it very quickly.
And as we get like this Stella like ringing out,
There's a
ringing
girl.
ringing like out the auditorium, like into the sort of atmosphere of outside the school. We see like this we see this jet stream of something crash into the football field, and Rodasi stands up out of a crater
Yeah.
and like hears Stella. I think that's where we're gonna end our issue.
Oh my god.
For lack of further page count, the editing team really audited production, the producers, for an extra large sized issue this time, but they just couldn't budget it.
A lot of content to get through.
Yo.
Writer's strike.
With that, we have reached the end of issue 14, Varsity Hues, Black and Blue. Thank you so much for joining us, and this is where we do the end of session move, the move that we so often claim that no other Mass AP does.
Correctly.
The one thing we think we're better than everybody else at.
And again, we're right.
Only this.
One thing we'll admit that we're
Yeah, publicly.
Lordy.
better.
At the end of every session, each of the characters gets to choose one. Either they grew close to the team, they grew into their own self-image, or they grow away from the team. Tanvi. This is where the readers see like the little chibi heads and like they do their whole
Oh yeah, I forgot about
exchange
that.
explaining.
Uh, think she grew away from the team.
Mm.
Just because she was kind of, oh, I guess she could have grown closer because of the standing up with
Although you did that independently, it wasn't like I
Yeah.
welcomed you in. If you were closer,
Right.
like someone usually like
pulls you in.
draws you together, right?
That
None of these
makes
fuckers came and
sense.
none of these fuckers came and covered and supported you. They'll cover and support each
Yeah.
other.
Right.
Oh yeah, we're like, how did what's up with Tanvi today?
Yeah, I guess grow away from the team. I don't know what specifically would have pushed that either.
I
Well,
mean,
like we didn't do anything as a team,
really.
Yeah,
In that case,
and
you could
you
grow into yourself.
immediately got caught up in your own past.
Right.
that's true.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be violent. It can just be sort of a, that drifting.
Right. So like if it helps you make the decision, you're taking influence away from someone because you're like, I don't really feel connected to you guys anymore. Whereas if you feel more like Tanvi this session was like, ah, shoot, my past. Who am I really? Am I the villain or am I the hero? Which of these lives am I going with? Then you're probably growing into your own vision of yourself and shifting one of your labels up and another one down.
Yeah.
Okay.
You also, it was also really interesting to hear your like Tanvi's justification for he felt on it. I mean, like it could just be the words that you chose, but it also felt like very kind of self-centered. Where you weren't like stay away from my friends. You were like stay away from me and my path.
From you, yeah.
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 Like, which I thought was
That was
really cool
good.
and very interesting.
that was
I was
cool.
like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that one makes more sense
mhm.
than the growing away from the team. I feel like, yeah, I would want to choose that in a like more active, like something pulled us apart would make more sense.
So you shift one label up and one down. What do you think?
Yeah, let me look at my labels.
I might suggest maybe danger down, superior up. You're avoiding fighting and avoiding conflict,
Yeah.
direct conflict, but you still you're like trying to help. Like you think you're better than this person. Like you're trying to be selfish.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Especially since like superior has to do with like provoking something.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Flows, how you feel?
I think I also grew into my own image of myself.
Yeah.
And interestingly, I feel like the conversation that I had with my parents and being like, okay, trust yourself and your instincts and like don't really act in the rules that Earth has set up for superheroes. I feel like weirdly I might be putting my superior up and my savior down.
Ooh,
Because
interesting.
I think it was like they were like, you're not like these heroes, you're not like these
Yeah.
people, you're literally above them all right now,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
making
It's-
the decisions you think are the right ones.
You're
It's almost
better
like they-
than them.
Yeah, they kind of are saying like you're
Yeah.
not a hero. Like you're not
Right.
one of Earth's heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
You're our
thing, right?
hero.
Like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
our hero.
Yeah.
Earth's morals
Yeah.
don't apply to you. Like
Yeah.
our version of
Yeah.
heroics are different and better than theirs.
Yeah, that was
There's-
We're
Yeah.
still going to war with each other. We still eat animals.
Mhm. My gosh.
So what if we have
Learn
this-
to eat grass. Get some more stomachs, humans.
Eat
From your
ponders.
Get
Oh.
with it.
They force you to grow, like to stop choking your planet.
Yeah.
And let its greenery grow out.
Just saying.
Yeah, and they literally said like, humans are not a danger to you; they're only a danger to themselves. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
really
good,
push
yeah.
the superior in all that conversation.
Yeah.
Also, you're diplomatically immune.
That was-
Thank you for
yeah.
that. That was a nice present for me as a player.
Very good.
Also, I leveled up by getting my potential up, and
Ooh.
I think the stars are right for me to take the advancement from the Outsider playbook. So I am going to have, what is it called? Oh my god, it's all the way at the bottom. There we go. Belong in Two Worlds.
Ooh.
So now I can contact my people and roll plus superior to
Hey.
get some stuff or have uncomfortable demands made of me.
Good thing they're hanging around because gas is expensive.
Have you been to the pump recently?
Exactly. Imagine space gas.
Imagine filling up a world ship that size.
You gotta go to
Size
the
of a mountain.
nebula and like they don't like it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
The hose is never long enough to reach the other side if you forget which side your tank is on.
This Space Mountain.
God, Disney would be so mad. Manny, how you feeling?
Manny's growing into his own self-image.
It's what all the cool kids are doing.
Yeah. Manny feels like a monster again. Like he bungled his attempt at trying to reconnect with his friend. He is being blamed along with his friends for being like too dangerous and out of control as unlicensed supers. It's like it's a bad time all around for this poor little kid.
Yeah.
And like the one person who like could understand him, he blew a chance to connect with. So he's bringing his freak up, and I think his savior down, because like he doesn't feel like he's protecting people. He's like every time he uses his powers, it's destructive.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Rodasi, we're legally obligated to ask you how you feel.
I'm not sure actually. No, I guess it's like kind of how I ended the session because I feel like I kind of hit each of these throughout
Yeah.
the session.
Mhm.
But I ended growing into my own image of my own self.
I think you spent a lot of the session more in growing into yourself. Like
Yeah.
you sort of you inched out of it, but like you kept like kind of pulling back in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah. So I think it's been a lot of like, and I think she still, I think she still is like, doesn't really know how to act, but like kind of is gaining an understanding, a little bit more of a clarity of her own self. So I think that's really important. How do I want to do this? I might move my. Oh Lord. I might move my savior is at 3, which is dangerous, but that also makes a lot of sense.
You just have to adjust it up again, take a condition, and then go unconscious in the post game.
Right.
Yeah. I might. Let's see. I really might want to take some suggestions for this because I'm not entirely sure.
What do you see next steps of Rodasi doing? Because like that kind of might inform how you see yourself now.
Oh, that's a good point. I think I kind of see her like trying to be trying to like find the right path, you know what I mean? I think she's definitely gonna be I think she's gonna be like, all right, I think she wants to reconcile is her next path. She wants to like talk to all of her friends, be like, speak to Manny, to Tanvi, to Filodhas, and just be like, hey, I think I'm being like I was being like a shitty leader, and also we don't, and like I want to check in is kind of what she's trying to be. I think she's like, we're all in a like, or like, you know, like I'm in a horrible place, Manny's in a horrible place. Plus, like your parents came to visit Tanvi. You just went back into the shadows a little bit. Like I I did not get to. I didn't see you in a while.
Tanvi just had a meeting with a friggin' arms dealer.
Yeah.
Has a tattoo that we haven't been talking about.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's like you gave up kind of a lot. Oh no, that's absolutely what others have been feeling really guilty about for Tanvi. It's like you gave up a lot. Like you put yourself on the line, and we bungled that. You know what I mean? Oh, and you're like one of my best friends. I think she's really been avoiding you for that reason.
I think that sounds like mundane up and superior down.
Ooh, okay.
Because like mundane
that.
is like, well, I need to be a person. I need to be a friend to all of you. Right?
Yeah.
I don't need to be the smartest person in the room. I don't need to be like the leader. I just need to be real with you. You know?
Yeah, that I think is absolutely what's gonna be. Is
That's
like
cool.
let's recalibrate. Like, Rose is just gonna be like, I think we just need to recalibrate after what happened, and be friends again. Is I think maybe her approach.
Yeah.
It's like we're friends first.
Can we start over?
Yeah. Okay, I love that.
If
Yeah,
we're
and
all
that
faults,
brings
let's
her-
just start over. That's healthy.
No. let's
Who's
new.
cool girl on
Okay,
the other
let's
best?
new game plus. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna start saying from now on.
Cute.
So that is how everybody feels at the end of the session.
How do you feel, Kevin?
What are your labels?
We should be asking.
You never get to say.
Your GM.
I just-
Do
the
you
black
feel
hole
closer? Do you feel? Did you grow closer to the team
I've grown
as
further into
editor?
myself.
Okay.
Did you grow closer to Jemisin's meats?
Yeah.
There are no alternate covers this week. Who are you? Where can people find you? Rue.
No alternate covers this week.
How dare you? Hello, y'all. I'm Rue. You can follow me on Twitter at CherryDrop, do projection here, and at Valor Live. You can find all my game design stuff at rue7.itch.io. Yeah, that's everything.
Alex, where can people find you?
Hey everyone, I'm Alex Guerrero. You can find me on Twitter at Fractal Dragon, and I design games at fractaldragon.itch.io.
Simon?
I'm Simon. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. I write and publish tabletop role-playing games at colorspraygames.itch.io. I'm a voice actor for the queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama The Penumbra Podcast. If you want to hear yourself represented in stories, that's at The Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepenumbrapodcast.com. And tomorrow night, I think we're actually going to be streaming once again some Star Wars RPG over on Dumpstat Charisma at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So if you want to come check out some of that, go do that.
Viditya.
Don't sound so regretful. Hey everybody, I've been Viditya. I will continue to be Viditya, and you can find me online at Viditya Voleti everywhere comic books are sold. And I have two just loud kittens playing over there, and it's very distracting. But yeah, you can find my games at vidityavoleti.itch.io, and yeah, that's kind of it right now. I don't know much more.
And once again, a very special happy birthday to birthday boy, JR Zambrano. You can find at Bella Lost Souls. And if you want him to say ductile is fucktile or any other like cute euphemisms that you like, you can go donate to kofi.com/sharppost.
Well,
I'm Kevin. My pronouns are currently he, him. You can find my games at winconditions.itch.io or winconditions.com. That's NGUYEN for win. And you can find me at nextdoor.com/knit_neck.
what?
Wait, where did it come in?
Wait, hold up.
Use your Ring camera to
Yes.
spy on your neighbors and report them to Nextdoor.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Wait,
Hey, you can also see GR's work in the upcoming Slayer's Almanac. Spencer Campbell just posted a pretty sweet preview of his district at Keela RPGs.
Wait, I'm in
my
that too. Shit.
Kevin's in that too, and Rue's in that too. Look
No,
at
but
that.
we don't fucking care about you two. It's JR's day.
Kevin shouted himself out first.
Yeah.
My time. I didn't interrupt you.
That's
Thanks
it for
joining
this
us, y'all.
week. I think we're gonna go raid Nilly, right? At Nilly Line, friend of the cast, a Destiny streamer, pro extraordinaire. So if you want to learn how to click on heads real good and how to be a space wizard and live your best space shooter looter life, we're gonna go over there. So stick with us, get your emotes out, show them some love. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Varsity Hues on All Nerds Here. We'll see you next week.